big house on the beach, and all my rental properties just generate, cash flow for me, and I'd really like to have more. I just can't get any of the agents to get me any deals because it's so competitive out there. Okay, well, tell me what you want and I will get it for you. So we have chatted probably 4 or 5 times since then. Would you guys be okay with getting phone calls like that?
Oh, yeah.
How many cash buyers do you need when you're working with somebody like that?
One.
Yes, you only need a handful. I got another cash buyer a few days later, also doing the marketing campaign. Who wants to hear about the marketing campaign?
Yeah.
I got another cash buyer. He called me and I said, well, what are you buying? He goes, everything. And I go, well, I need specifics. You tell me exactly what you buy and I will find it. Because this first guy, David Stebbins, he actually told me I buy in this town, this bedrooms, this year or newer, this bathrooms, and I pay between, I think he said $80,000 and $95,000. He gave me the exact criteria. Do you know what I did? I called my agent that works that area and said, I want everything in this market. Everything is mine. Got it? Here's the numbers. It's all mine. He goes, got it. Do you think in the next week I might have some checks rolling in? Because I already have them sold, right? Okay. The other thing I did, and I know I'm sorry I'm kind of jumping around. I just want to give you guys all this information. This is a secret I do that nobody else is doing. You're going to like this a lot. There were not a ton of properties in this guy's specific neighborhood. Got to think outside the box. How do I get him properties in this neighborhood that he can't get properties in that he has this plethora of money for? I'm going to go into expired listings, properties that expired within his criteria, and send them a marketing campaign. Hi, I know your property was listed for, well actually I don't say it was listed for sale. I say I'm a business owner in the area and I'm looking to buy his property. And these are people, what's great about expired listings, these were properties that the homeowner, and when I say expired listings, they were expired listing standard sales, so they had equity in them. They were not short sales, they were not REOs. So these were standard sale properties that the homeowner was interested and motivated in selling and they didn't sell. And they got pissed off and it didn't sell, and usually at this point, they don't want to list it on the MLS because they had all these people running through their house and their agent was not able to sell their house for them. So do you think by the time I contacted them, they've calmed down a little bit and they say, I'm not an agent, I just want to buy your property with all cash. Do you think they're willing to negotiate and be a little bit flexible? Do you think that automatically right off the bat they can drop the price? I have a couple reasons why they can't. The first reason is whatever they had it listed at before didn't sell. So right off the bat, if that price is too high, we've automatically got to come down. The second thing is, when you list it through an agent, you're paying at least 6% in commissions, and then another couple percent in closing costs and other fees. So you're paying around 8%. So automatically, I can take 8% off what they had it listed before. Do you guys see how instantly you're working with somebody who's motivated to sell, wants to sell, and can automatically drop their price?
Yeah.
Can you guys do this?
Yeah. Yep.
So now I have 2 ways to get this guy who tells me he has too much money deals. Go ahead.
Would you use an agent to work with them? In which case, or would you?
I would like to, so it depends on how much I can get the house for. If I try and get the house as low as possible, I have an entire form that I fill out when I interview the homeowner, and I can get them as low as possible, and I have a video showing how you get the homeowner to take the lowest price possible, because it's negotiating. And so if I'm able to have a big spread in there, I bring my agent in and he handles the transaction. If I can't do it, well, I bring him in anyways, but I pay him. So, for example, if I'm putting a $10,000 assignment fee on there, I'm going to pay my agent 3% to handle the entire transaction, and he's going to make like $1,500 bucks. So, does that work? Now, do you guys think that your agents will be happy when you literally hand them deals like that? Yeah. Okay. So we talked about, what were we going off on? I was about to go, what was I about to talk about, guys?
Marketing.
What was
Marketing.
that?
Marketing.
Marketing. Okay. So I don't think I was, but I will. Yes, I was.
You would say that when you were marketing
Okay.
to buyer listings.
Okay, so yeah, we talked about expired listings. So
You were talking about.
Talking about working on
We're
listing
talking about
property.
ways to get the property for the buyer that.
Criteria.
oh yeah, and then I was okay. So we talked. Okay, so we got that. I shared with you how I'm getting stuff for David right now. I got another cash buyer that called me last week off of the same marketing campaign, and I will share with you guys that marketing campaign. This guy called me and I go, "What do you buy?" And he goes, "Everything." And I'm like, "I need more specifics. I can't go and buy everything." And he goes, "We literally buy everything." And I go, I said, just give me some examples of what you buy, that way I can duplicate it. And he goes, "Well, this week alone, we've closed on 15 single-family residences, 2 condos, a strip shopping center, a dry cleaner, and a gas station." That pretty much sums it up. We buy everything. And I go, "Do you buy luxury properties too?" And he goes, "Yep." And I go, "Okay." And I just thought, anything with money on it, this guy buys. Do you think he has a lot of money? Yeah. Again, how many of these cash buyers do you need? Just a handful, just a couple. Does it make your life really easy when you have 5 people that you can call on a consistent basis? Hey David, I have a property for you." And he's like, and you tell him, and it's exactly what he already told you he buys, and you guys say done, and you're done. That's easy, right? You're not having to find 1 of 200 people to take this deal off your hands. You guys are in a working relationship, and he loves you because you're saving him, you're making him a lot of money, yeah? Okay, so the marketing campaign, you want to know about that, don't you? Like Redford. There's a database out there. You guys, I'll give it to you right now. It's called accesscashbuyers.com. So I think it's http://accesscashbuyers.com. I believe is what it is.
Access.
Cash buyers. It's the database I use. It does cost money. And I'm going to help you guys out at the end how I can help get you cash buyers for free. But what it is it is a database. Does everybody in the room know that you can look up public records, totally free, will show you every transaction that's occurred? Do you guys know that? So if you guys want to know who bought with all cash in your area, you guys have that information. You guys know that, right? Okay, well, I don't like doing any work. We figured that out right off the bat, yes?
Have you ever looked at Kate Clothier, 1-800 sell now?
That's what it's associated with,
Okay,
yes.
yeah, I got that one.
Okay, that's what it is. So, is that not the most awesome program?
Oh, yeah.
So what it is,
It's Kate Clothier, 1-800 sell now. This is company.
so what it is you literally look up a zip code or an area, and it'll give you, and you put in the time frames, and it'll tell you who bought what with all cash. Well, in the area I buy in the last 6 months, there was, I believe, 5,000 cash transactions. I'm not going to send out 5,000 mailers. That would be a waste of money. I want to know who's doing the most amount of business and who has the most amount of money. So I'll itemize the search out, and I'll go in there. Now it's an Excel spreadsheet, so it'll actually auto-populate it for you. So what I will do is I'll say, I only want the properties that, I only want the contact info for people who have the same mailing address 5 or more times. Because sometimes people will have a different LLCs or trusts they buy properties in, and they're going to have different property addresses, but the mailing address to the homeowner is always going to remain the same. So I check the mailing address 5 or more times. They've bought 5 or more properties they're buying on a consistent basis. Then I'll also say I want to see the same LLC or entity used 5 or more times, because some people just use the same one. So I'm targeting people that are buying on a consistent basis. Then I'll further go and break it down by the price points. It'll actually tell you what they paid and the property they bought. So it tells you the bedrooms, the bathrooms, the square footage. It tells you the specs and what they paid for it. Do you think that's going to help you out when you go to make a phone call to them, already knowing what they buy? Is this helpful? Is this really easy?
Yes.
Okay, so out of the 5,000 that came up in 6 months, if They broke it down to 300. So then out of the 300, I'll go through, and if I want to narrow it down because I don't want to send 300, or I do, you know, whatever you guys want to do, you can do. You can further it down and go, well, this guy's spending $500,000 and buying 5 properties a year on cash. I want to work with him. You can search by where they live. They live in a very affluent community. They probably have lots of cash. So you guys can actually go through and break down who you want to do mailings to. Would that be helpful? Okay. So that answer, you're good on that, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're like, I've been there. It's awesome.
But I don't mean to get you off. Have you ever heard of Hilton Weirdly? He's got
The name sounds familiar. I don't
he's
know
got a
who
new program that just searches out, it connects, it does campaigns, it puts buyers and sellers together.
No. Let's talk about that afterwards. Go ahead.
What was the second site that you said after Access Cash Buyers?
It's the same exact site. It's Ken Clothier. He's a friend of mine. But if you go to Access Cash Buyers, it'll take you straight to him.
Okay, thank you.
So we talked about auctions. Okay, so I want to get into the MLS again, and we're running really tight on time. Is everybody okay with me giving you a little bit more information and us running over a little bit? Sure. Okay. So, in the MLS, we already did a reverse search. We know what people are buying and where they're buying it from, right? Now we can actually, what if, let's say worst case scenario, you have no cash buyers. And your agent that you hire is awesome and they get a deal locked up right away. Like you literally leave today, tomorrow you find an agent and they write up offers for you tomorrow, and on Friday they're like, hey, you got a deal. What are you going to do?
Buy it.
Yes! You're going to go and you go, well, I don't have any cash buyers, and you're not freaking out at all because you're going to go back into that same MLS search for that neighborhood that you just got the property in, and you're going to go and say, who did the cash transactions? Now you're going to call that listing agent and go, hey, you just sold 3 months ago this 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house on blah, blah, blah. Do you have investors that are interested in similar properties for that price point specs? Yes, I am. I just can't get any of my offers approved. Well, if I can pay you your 3% commission, but you don't have to do any work, would you be okay with giving a property to your client? Would your client be happy that you were able to connect them with the property? I will give you your full commission, but you don't have to manage the process. Do you think they would be okay with that?
Yeah.
Then they say yes, unless they're an idiot, and we don't work with idiots, right? We're all smart in this room. They say yes, so now you have a cash buyer, because out of one area that you've already figured out had 70 cash transactions or 50 cash transactions or 100, you now have the list, the buyer's agent's information, and you can go to them directly. And you just have to make sure out of your assignment agreement, you're actually going to be paying the agent, because you already have a buyer's agent that's written up the offer. So this new cash buyer is going to be helped by the buyer's agent that's already in place. So their traditional agent is getting paid 3% for doing nothing but making the connection. So the cash buyer's happy and that agent's happy. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So another way of meeting cash buyers is our REIA meetings. Go to as many of them as you can, and like Dawn was talking about, going to really taking the meeting to a bigger level. You guys are going to start seeing a lot more quality in the meetings. And remember when I said I started speaking because I went to a REIA meeting? I went to the REIA meeting to meet cash buyers, and I picked up like 3 or 4 cash buyers at that meeting alone. What I did is you network and you say, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do the whole, what do you do? How can I help you? What are you buying? What are you needing? And if I can do that for you, are you interested in me sending you properties? You guys can do this, right? Have I given you a few ways to get cash buyers?
Yes.
Another way is through partnerships, IRA accounts, and credit cards. So the IRA account is like that 401k, the haircut I talked about. Everybody has. So